We have been living a remarkable life abroad, and we are definitely enjoying many perks of being overseas. And so we're going to discuss today, why did we leave the U.S.? But we're also going to talk about why a lot of people leave the U.S. beyond our own personal reasons.
And why we've never looked back. So our first reason is our cost of living. I mean, we are stretching our retirement savings every month.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that we really did not have a expectation that we were going to ever live this affordably. We are spending less than half of what we initially thought we would be spending in Europe. We are nowhere close to hitting any kind of maximum or budget. We live our life on our own terms. We buy the groceries we want. We go to the restaurants when we feel like it. Maybe we're not the type of people who are going to go out and go to 5-star restaurants every day, but dang, I mean, I'm so shocked that we are averaging out over 4 years, if you watch our 4-year video, at less than $2,900 a month over a 4-year period. In our most recent year, just a little over $2,800, and that was with the inflation. And I don't know if that's just because as we've gone along, we've become smarter travelers and we just do things differently, but
and that's less than the average couple's Social Security payments.
Yeah, we are really not tapping near the amount of resources from our early retirement fund than I ever thought we would. So that just means we get to have more of our assets compounding and our investments moving forward. So if you are looking to move abroad or thinking about it because of money and thinking it's going to be outrageously expensive, we're living in Europe and enjoying it for a fraction. So our early retirement was one of our best decisions ever. And now when we early retired, we intended we were going to be spending more time traveling all over the world, but we've been focusing on Europe because we have our dog that we're traveling with, Arya, that we rescued in Ecuador.
Yes, absolutely.
And we loved our time in Ecuador, but I think Europe really called to us. Even when we were working and doing vacations, this was a place that we wanted to spend time. And I fell in love in the 90s when I was stationed in Germany in the late 80s, early 90s in Zweibrücken, Germany with the American Air Force. And, my dream, of course, was to go back into those days of exploring that part of Europe, but we have been focused more on the Balkan region and Poland and Slovakia, the eastern part of Europe, and we're not giving up anything from being over here. And in fact,
we're getting more.
Safer.
It's amazing. We're eating healthy, which is very important to me. I love to eat healthy. I love to exercise. And for example, in the United States, you sell a product called butter lettuce. Butter lettuce here, I got 3 heads the other day for €1.50. I mean, that's just one little tiny example. We detail a lot of this in other videos, so I mean, we don't need to go into exacts, but we do feel like we get a better life in Europe. We love it. I mean, we have a comfortable lifestyle, and we're just really happy.
And we are not going without on any bracket. Our medical care in Europe is as good as what you're going to find in the U.S., but at a fraction of the cost. So we have our insurance here with a $2,500 deductible, $1 million of coverage. We more or less have that in case there's a emergency, some sort of catastrophe. But our intent is never to go back to the U.S. for medical care. We would just do stuff over here in Europe. So we don't include the U.S. in our insurance at all.
No, we did an international health insurance video recently. If you haven't checked it out, you really might want to if you're looking to move abroad, because it really does cover a lot, including some of the actual things that we've encountered, the actual visits we've encountered, the ERs we've encountered. So it might be of interest to you. And, we feel like we're getting very high quality health care. We're really, really pleased with it at a fraction of the cost. I mean, it's the cost of a copay in the United States?
So we understand a lot of our viewers are watching our channel because of the cost of living. That's why we do so many expat cost of living videos showing people what it's like to live in different countries, the cost, the expenses. And, we did not ever think that life would be as affordable as it is without compromise. Now, if we were choosing to live in, the heart of Paris or the heart of Berlin full time or the heart of London, yeah, but
there's no way we could do it under the budget we're telling you.
Yeah. I mean, we would go there. Maybe we'll spend a month or something, but that's not where we would pitch our tent for a year. Heck
no. The third is because we love the cafe culture of Europe. I mean, we truly love the cafe culture. We love immersing ourselves in the different cultures, and oh my goodness, the history that you walk through on a daily basis is just incredible.
And the true reality is, when I was looking at retiring overseas, and particularly Europe, this was my number one reason, as I love the cafe culture. I love to be able to go out and just sit for an afternoon, hanging out with friends, having a coffee or having a beer, and sitting somewhere on a promenade or under an umbrella in a square somewhere, watching the world. This is, to me, the type of dream life of tranquility, of just having moments of peace and conversation without all of the weird politics that you have in the U.S. I mean, we can actually have conversations here with people.
Yes.
That are about real life things and day-to-day things. And
because our goal is not to be political. We just really want to be friendly and open with everyone we encounter. And we have met people from all over the world. And I'll tell you, there are some beautiful people out there, just so kind and wonderful. And, lower cost of living is just a bonus. It really is. Warren initially did not want to see Turkey. He was a little more anxious and had trepidation about Serbia and, and Albania. And he's loved them all.
I'm going to interject here. Everything you think you know about these countries, if you haven't been following Julie and I, forget it. I was like you. I sat there, I watched the American news in the past and movies that painted different types of storylines. But when I got off the plane in January of 2021 and I was in Belgrade and then Novi Sad, Serbia, and I'm watching these people out there playing with their kids in the parks in a day when most of the world was locked down, and they're just enjoying their freedom. And then the people there were so friendly once you get to know them, and they find out that you're an American and you're thinking, oh, maybe I need to keep this quiet to myself. No, they want to get to know you. They want to talk English to you. They want to make sure that you have a positive idea about what their country is about, and that it's not what the movies show you. And it did not take me long to realize when I was in Serbia that I didn't know what I didn't know. And we like to go to Serbia. We like to go hang out in Novi Sad. We like to go to Zlatibor. And when we are going there, instead of hanging out in France, I'm not losing any of the cultural experience. And I feel safe in Serbia. The cost of living is so much lower. The cappuccino is just as good as you're going to get over in France. And the beer is good. And the wine is fine. So I don't quite get, sometimes people think that Europe ends at the former, what Americans would call Eastern Europe, because most Europeans call what we call Eastern Europe Central Europe. But this side of Europe is in many ways safer, less crime, and less expensive, and you don't give up any of the quality of life.
No.
We like going to Germany. We're going to Scandinavia later this year, and but if you're going to retire and you want to stretch your dollar, or maybe you're on Social Security, then this side of Europe, you're not losing a dang thing.
Not a thing.
For those of you sitting in the United States that are new to watching, understand that I have been to 48 of the United States locations. We've lived in quite a few states. We have done a lot of time in North America because there's always going to be somebody out there. You can have all of this in North America. You should, spend your time traveling the United States. We have. We've been there. We've done that. But we enjoy new cultures, new experiences, and being in Europe gives us the ability to not only experience these things, but to educate ourselves in a way that you can't get through the TV. And whether it's the food, the cuisine, the variations of people's attitudes and lifestyles, and even living in different types of accommodations, understanding when you go to an Airbnb in different countries, there's differences in the way people live.
Oh, completely different. And one thing I want to circle back to is a little bit on the cost of living and the cost of travel around places. If you've watched us for very long, you know that we have a car and we travel through Europe. And one of the things we're looking at doing this winter potentially is driving all the way to Lisbon, which will be a little costly. But what I want to highlight here is we want to go to the Azores potentially. And a round trip flight from Lisbon to one of the islands in the Azores is $71. Mm-hmm. And that's on a major airline. That's not EasyJet or Ryanair.
And we're considering bringing the dogs over, and that's fairly inexpensive as well compared to what you would think. And
correct. So we wanted to just kind of highlight that because we've had a few people kind of questioning, how in the world are you flying so cheaply or this or that? Yeah. Well, we're not doing a lot of flights at this point. However, we are kind of looking at our options.
Yeah, we have been driving around Europe for well over 3 years with our car Abby that we registered in Bulgaria. So if you need to know more about that, look at our playlist on how to be a nomad in Europe, and we have so much great information in there. And we hate regurgitating and being redundant in videos because we're going to bore the regular viewers to death, because we've talked about stuff in nauseum. We've talked about Schengen. We talk about things that we don't want to have to redo it every video. We always get somebody in the comments saying, I wish you would have talked about this or this. Well, we've talked about it many, many times. Just check out all of our other videos.
Right.
We have got a lot of information out there.
It's the relaxed lifestyle in Europe that, it suits us so perfectly. We're no longer feeling that pressure of the American lifestyle where, we need to own and we need to buy the best and we need to drive the best. And, we were some of those people. We needed to keep up with the Joneses. However, we were also putting away money, and a lot of money, as often as we possibly could.
So we own our home base here in Montenegro. So this is where we come and go from. And so we own a home here. It's 100% paid for. We own our car. It's 100% paid for. Our monthly outgoing flow of money does not go towards paying mortgages or rent and homeowners insurance. I mean, we do have homeowners insurance here. We have taxes, but they're minute. So we are talking our property tax for the year was about 350 euros, about $400 for the whole year. Our insurance was probably about $400 for the whole year for homeowners insurance. Our car insurance is about $300 some odd for the whole year. So our monthly costs here are so minute. Utilities are, on a bad month, $85 a month.
Yeah.
And so we get by on a fraction of what we would spend in the U.S. In the U.S., we were spending easily $6,000 on all of our miscellaneous expenses between car insurance and cars and home mortgages, homeowners insurance, and taxes.
And life here is at a slower pace, and we really love that. We actually feel like sometimes in a lot of parts of Europe that we've stepped back 25 to 30 years, and it's just beautiful. We watch the children as they are walking around and actually playing like we did as children, instead of having the devices right in their hands, looking at them continuously. And we find that to really just be a very beautiful thing.
And we need to caveat, though, when you talk about the behavior of some of these people, it's not all parts of Europe. However, when we're talking about a lot of this stuff, it's the part of Europe that most of you guys aren't looking at, and that's the Central Europe and Southeastern Europe and the Balkan region. These areas from Poland on down, it's a different lifestyle. It is like being back 25 years ago in so many ways.
It is.
And we absolutely embrace it and love it.
And the philosophy here is it's not about living to work like it is in the United States. It's about working to live. These people work to live. They work a job, they live. And they live well. They enjoy their days. They don't make it all about work, and never play. And to us, we love that. We embrace that.
Yeah. So our reasons for leaving America are not those of being negative about America. We love the country we're from. We just love the slower lifestyle that we're having now, the lifestyle without all of the what seems like constant conflict between people's ideologies for political reasons, and we just feel that we're able to be unplugged and away from the chaos.
Yes.
You know, it's
And
nice.
you know, we feel a lot safer in many parts of Europe. We really do. I walk around at night. I'll walk almost anywhere. I mean, I walked in Istanbul at 2 a.m. by myself. I have walked all over Montenegro. I would comfortably walk across the street from my house here in a heartbeat, but there are many places in the United States I wouldn't do that.
It was funny, before we retired to Europe and we had bought our home in Montenegro, our first home, in 2016, Julie flew into Belgrade as her place to fly into and was going to drive into Montenegro from Serbia. And my first instinct when she was looking at doing a flight to Serbia was, are you kidding me? You're never going to make it alive out of that country. And I was so ignorant. I'm embarrassed, because those people have been so nice and fantastic to us when we've been there, and we're so safe. You just don't hear about the types of violence and crime in this region of the world. I mean,
no.
Yeah, there obviously have been some military conflicts, and there's politically disagreements between different regions here, but it's been a long time in the past, and you know, Serbia is a pleasant place to visit. Albania, so many negative things you see in the movies about Albanians, and we went to Albania, and great people, loved it, especially down in Saranda. We haven't explored the entire country, but what we saw, we enjoyed.
Right.
And then Turkey, again, that was a place I thought I would go into, because Julie was begging to go there, that we would turn around right away when she saw how awful it was. And man, it was fantastic.
Boy, did he change his mind.
Yeah, and we've done so many videos on these countries, but we were ignorant, and we had already traveled to 20 plus countries by that time when we retired. Now we're at 47 and 45 countries respectively.
Yes.
And we thought we were worldly and knew so much, but there's a different type of world when you slow travel and you get to spend 1 to 3 months on a location, see what life is really like, versus going in and being the tourist of 2 days here, 2 days there, and off to the next place on the Amazing Race schedule.
That's exhausting.
And yeah, it's nice to be able to slow travel and absorb a location. And when the weather's bad, you can say, okay, I'm just going to lay in bed today and watch TV and, you know, look at my stocks or do some reading, whatever, because tomorrow's another day and I can go do whatever's on my checklist on another day. But when you're trying to squeeze in a country in 2 or 3 days or a week, you don't get time to get grounded.
No. So, you know, if you're thinking about a life abroad and, you know, you're thinking, I'm scared to take this leap and I'm scared to retire, I mean, listen, it is a beautiful life. We're enjoying it, and we really encourage you to consider it and look at your options. Look if you can afford it. Look for that bridge. If you are 60 and you want to be able to make that bridge to 65, you know, consider how you can do that, because we're really happy that we've done what we've done, and we haven't looked back. We've really enjoyed living abroad.
And I guess things you don't have on your list, another reason to retire early, move abroad, leave the U.S., whatever you want to call this video, it's a longer lifespan. I have no doubt I will live longer because I retired early and have chosen this lifestyle versus the high stress, high work lifestyle that we had in the United States, and the need to keep up with the Joneses. I really don't care what you think of us. You know, in the U.S. I did, and
everything was important.
Yeah, the image, everything, and now it's, you know, it is what it is. I will tell you, I will probably live a decade longer because I made the decision to retire at 51 and
45.
hit the road. And so here we are 4.5 years later, and I was just about to turn 52 when I retired. In all fairness, I'm 56 now.
Yes.
But, so we are traveling with our 2 dogs. We hope you're going to subscribe, give this video a like, and until next time, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Ciao.